When I think of royal horse, I think more in terms of us as God's royal horse. And as we work with horses, it's a great pleasure to work with a horse that's supple, that's listening to you, that you can have a relationship with, and you can actually get something done. I think God kind of looks at us in the same kind of way. But when you look at Jesus, you see how he worked with us and the things he gave us to do. Love him. We're supposed to love God and love others as ourselves. And also the character of the person who's following Christ. You see the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. True characters are the one following Christ as King and as Lord. And so that's why I think he looks at us and kind of the way we might look at a horse. The Lord, he's really given us things to do in this world as we follow him. We're not going to be here that long. We've got a short opportunity to do what he said to do here, which is follow him as Lord and King and be an ambassador for him while we're here. Now this horse, I'm working with this flag, and when the horse sees that flag on the other side, it'll kind of get jumpy. So it's just got to learn how to deal with things, realize things are going to be okay, and build some confidence as it's moving and working. And that's what we're trying to do, instill some confidence in this horse. And this horse, Roxy, this is only the second hour that it's been worked with at all. The first hour I was able to work with it, get a saddle on it, and now this time we'll just see where the horse goes, how far the horse can go. Well, the horse did pretty good with the saddle last time, but it's good to get that saddle on again, and then I'll start working that horse back, giving it some leadership, some direction, and that way it has its mind more under me and what I'm asking it instead of paying attention to other things. It helps the horse. So that horse is learning to watch me, see what I'm doing, see what I'm asking it, and then relaxing in that. I'm giving it direction. We're always giving that horse an open door. The open door was to move away from that. And here's another thing too. I never tighten that saddle up too tight in the beginning because I want to do it in stages. Three times usually. That way the horse doesn't get sour to being cinched up too tight. Help the horse on both sides to find out that yielding to you is going to be something that's not going to be hurtful to it. And give that horse some freedom to move around if it feels like it needs to move around a little bit, but also give it some comfort, something that's sure. And that horse can get a lot more comfortable with you. It begins to get confident. Now this will be the first time for saddling, getting actually in the saddle with this horse. So I just like to put a little pressure, see that the horse is comfortable with it. And you never have to get on a horse. If you can't get up in a stirrup and it can't stand there, there's no sense throwing your leg over it. Sometimes I have. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Now the horse, we're just doing the same things we did on the ground. Now we're doing it from the saddle. And always giving that horse reward. Now I am working with just a rope halter here. With a lot of horses, there's no sense pulling on the mouth. They're usually used to a halter and you've been working with a rope halter on the ground. So it's just fine to work with that once you start with the saddle. So as soon as that horse stops, then we let the pressure off. So the horse is learning that when you pull on that one rein, that it can circle around, it can move, and then when it stops, it has a release. Now we're just giving the horse some freedom. Finds out it can yield to direction.
There you go, you got all
and
the freedom in the
then
world.
have freedom after that. Spirit is the Lord, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. Now this is great for the horse to just get out there and move around. Sometimes I'll have the horse canter off and get going. Sometimes I won't. If they get too excited, they get more in a flight mode and they don't think as well. But if I can keep them within a certain space, it's easier for them to think and listen. Really easier for them to listen and get your direction. So Roxy did great, her first ride. So let's reward her, let her know that that's great, and that it's really can be a pleasure working with us. And Roxy, she really likes to be rubbed down and scratched, so hey, that's a great reward for this horse. She knows that when you get in that saddle, it's not going to be a bunch of problems, that we can have a time together. And horses are made to go in a herd, to listen, to be part of a herd. And God made these horses for royalty. You're His family. And you see Jesus comes back on a white horse. And maybe He's on a white horse right now, His church, that's doing good works in this world. This is Roxy's third day of training. Not consecutive days, but just the third hour that she's had work. So she's kicking up her heels just a little bit here. But she's coming in towards me, which is real nice. And so she's getting a little bit more pressure on her. And pressure comes off, she turns in. So she's ready to settle. But a little bit unsure there maybe. Because here, if you're putting a little bit more pressure on them, they're wondering what's going on. But they're going to have to learn to deal with a lot of pressure out there just like we do. And sometimes, you know, we get a lot of pressure on us. We kick up our heels and cause a lot of dust. But when the dust is, when it all settles, there's going to be a family that's faithful to Christ standing. People who've continued to follow him. And when the dust settles with these horses, they're going to be some good horses that are going to have a great relationship with people. Now I'm just going back using the rope again.
Very good.
And it's nice because we're going to be riding with that halter later, so she remembers to just give to pressure. And really it's given to the direction, because the direction of the open door. We're always given an open door with the horse. There's some doors that are going to be shut, but others that are open. It says Jesus is the door. He's the way, the truth, and the life. All you got to do is open his door. That's nice. The horse is supple. By moving away from the horse, farther away, I'm taking pressure off. And then just giving reward. Not all horses like to be even touched, but this horse, Roxy, actually likes it. So we're up on the saddle. We'll see how the horse does, see how it reacts. Okay, nice, it can move and settle. So now that we see it settle, we can go ahead and sit in the saddle. Go ahead and give the horse direction again, because we've gotten it used to, we give direction, we give an open door, and it follows.
So she knows she's doing right. She's doing good. Keep going.
So all we're asking the horse to do is to move. And this is a big thing, just getting the horse to move forward when you want to go forward.
So she's got a bend. Good girl.
There we go. We got some bend there on the horse.
Now I'm going to move her rears over.
So we'll hold that rope, move the rears. So that's nice to get that crossover on the back legs. Then here we're going to get the front legs over a little bit. So I'm putting pressure with my right leg, taking pressure off on the left. So when you take pressure off on that left, it's giving an open door.
Good girl.
Hold, move those rears. And there she's having a little bit hard time. We could quit if we needed to, but we'll just help her go.
Just get something like that just to help her to understand.
And it's nice to have those saddle strings on the back just to help your horse. Or most of the time I use a dressage whip, which works real nice to touch him. Or I'll use the lead rope from my halter.
Very
So you see, in these first early days with the horse, we got to give them a lot of direction and a lot of reward. Show them the open doors so they get used to looking for that open door. Then when we get a chance to stop, I like to just move around on the horse. You know, there's going to be a lot of times we're going to stop, we're going to put our coats on, take a coat off, move around. So it's nice to see the horse feeling comfortable. Now we just took that horse out in a bigger area where there's more things it can be thinking about, and it's totally different when you get a horse out on a different area. And that's what we're doing. We're just making a mini arena in different areas until we can expand from one area to another. Reminds me of, you know, with the Lord, just being faithful with the little, He'll expand the area of influence for us. You know, just simple things like this are good to do when you're out on the trail. Take a place on the trail, make a small arena out of it, move around, ask the horse to do things you would in the arena. Roxy's just done a great job, so we can reward her. Just go light, go easy. It's not always this way with the horse. Sometimes the horse has a lot of resistance in it. Later on, working with Roxy, she could get more resistant in different ways. That's why you got to kind of take your time, and just depends on the horse. Every horse is different. That was 3 days of working with Roxy, 3 hours. You know, you can accomplish a lot in 3 hours of working with the horse. They're definitely not all the same. Sometimes in order to keep yourself safe, you have to get much stronger. But when you've got a horse that's easy going, it's nice just to be relaxed. Remember, just always walk in those fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.